Jack Pratt's Hornets coming fresh off the school's best ever season a year ago, winning second straight Big Nine Conference title and gaining a victory in the state playoffs. Thrill, Kearsley has a strong nucleus coming back. A three-peat as Big Nine champs? Well, it's not out of the question with the ground game the Hornets will sport this season. This backfield could be the best in the conference.
It most certainly could, especially at quarterback with Rich Dosh. We've seen this kid tear it up as a freshman, and I tell you, he's an excellent ball player. He'll be in at quarterback this year, and he's definitely a threat.
Dosh at QB, Lalonde and Ruff running the rock. It's going to be an awfully potent attack in the backfield for the Hornets. Well, Thrill and I will step aside, and we'll be back after this timeout with a report from Kenny Ayers in the opening kickoff. After this timeout, you're watching the Game of the Week on Channel 17.
It's off another exciting season of high school football across the state of Michigan. In Lower Michigan, that is. Last weekend in the Upper Peninsula, the Ironwood Red Devils took on the Hurley Midgets of Wisconsin to open their '97 season. Veterans Memorial Field in Hurley, Wisconsin was jam-packed with 3,500 fans to watch the Red Devils get past the Midgets 28-20 in a tremendous overtime matchup. Tonight's matchup between Powers and Kearsley will definitely provide the same drama and excitement. So grab your popcorn and an ice-cold Coke and sit back and watch the gridiron action. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Kenny, and welcome aboard to the Comcast sports team this fall. The Red Devils and the Midgets, those are some nicknames. Well, they kicked off state play. The Chargers and the Hornets, well, they'll kick off our Game of the Week play. And you talk about a legendary coaching matchup, Bill Tucker versus Jack Pratt. It doesn't get much better than that. Two of the all-time greats in the city of Flint, William.
You most certainly do, Pat, and it doesn't get any better. Both of these coaches have over 100 wins, and that gives you some idea of their longevity on the sideline. This is going to be a great one. Two of the greater coaching minds in the area.
Well, what a way to start the season off for Powers and Kearsley, respective powerhouses in the Big Nine. You'll see right where your respective squads stand in a hurry when facing two of these top guns.
You know, sometimes when you open a season, you know, you may play a lesser opponent to some extent, and you don't know how good your team really is. But in this situation, like you said, Pat, both of these teams, we know exactly where they are, what changes need to be made for games in the future, and they'll know that right off the bat.
Well, Powers won the toss, and they defer to the second half, so Kearsley's going to have the football here. Kearsley in their home blue and golds, or bright yellows, if you will, and Powers in the white, blue, and orange. And that is number 21 for the Hornets and Ryan Dunning. And he'll take it over the 30-yard line to about the 31. Kearsley will operate offensively on their first series. Well, Thrill, we can expect the adrenaline to be flowing at an all-time high tonight. All the hard work, the 2 days during the summer, it's all worth it when it comes to game night in week number 1.
It most certainly does, Pat. And one of the key factors is you get to hit somebody else besides your teammates.
Well, Rich Dosh, a junior quarterback, 5'10", 170, leading this Kearsley offense. We'll have it for you after this play at 1st and 10 from their 31-yard line. And Pat Ruff, 5'6", 165 senior, all Big Nine a year ago with the first carry for the Hornets.
You're starting things off on the ground, and that's their forte. They're going to run the ball until you prove that you can stop them.
And Ruff picks up a long yard to make it 2nd and 9. Dosh steps up to the line of scrimmage out of the pro set. The Hornets work with 2 receivers. And he'll give it to the first man through, and he takes it over the 35 at the middle of that Powers defense there. The smother the ball carrier of Kearsley, and not much there, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
I'd say it'd be a great way for the Powers defense to start the game if they could get a stop here and force the Hornets to punt. When you have a high-powered offense like Kearsley, and when you come in like Powers and you're kind of a young ball club, you want to build some confidence, and if they can get a stop here, they'll definitely lead in that direction.
Dunning, the ball carrier, picked up 3. 3rd and 6 for Kearsley from their 35-yard line. The line of the first is the 41.5. Flags fly, and it may be against Kearsley here, as it will be. as they jump the gun here on that 3rd and long, and it'll be 3rd and longer now. A 5-yard procedure call against the Hornets will back the football up to the 30-yard line.
Just the lack of concentration right there by one of the linemen on the left side of that Kearsley line. Took off well before the snap came.
So I'll verbally give you the starting lineups. 3 returning starters for the Kearsley offense. It's David Clifford at split end. The line of Harriman, Hyde, Edwards, Rife, and Grimes. Tight end, Winey. QB is Dosh, Lalonde, Ruff, and Ridley round out the offense for the Hornets. Motion man Temple. And here's Dosh back to throw. Going long. Down the sideline. He's got a man, and it's Dunning. Kenny outrun the last man for Powers, and he will. Touchdown, Kearsley. Ryan Dunning, 70 yards for the score.
And it did not take long. Ryan Dunning wide open. Dosh put the ball out there, and Dunning just ran right under it, and the rest is history. But it looked like it's going to come back.
That flag in the end zone.
Wait a minute. Oh, the touchdown will stand. Probably on sportsmanlike conduct or some type of celebration after the score.
Correction on the pronunciation earlier, the right guard, Rocky Reef. My apologies, 6'5", 215 senior. So what a way to start off the season opener on the first offensive series for Kearsley. Rich Dosh airmails it out to Ryan Dunning, a perfect strike, catching Dunning in stride thrill, and Dunning had a break for the end zone, 70 yards. And the Hornets are on the scoreboard first.
Well, I tell you, I thought Dunning was going to get ran down for a second there after he caught the pass. He kind of cut back toward the center of the field, right towards the power defender, but last second cut it back to the left and took it in.
And the point after attempt is missed by Anthony Gallagher, as the Hornets were penalized for the unsportsmanlike conduct call, which backed the football up to the 30. Which made it a lengthy extra point attempt, and he misses. So with 9:54 to go in opening quarter, it's 6-0 Kearsley. Rich Dosh to Ryan Dunning, a 70-yard touchdown pass. So now the key here, Thrill, is how this young Powers ball club reacts. As we talked about, this has got to be one of the youngest Powers squads, maybe in the history of this school. That's how young they are.
I think there's about 13 seniors on this team, and I tell you, those guys have to step up right now and say, hey, look, okay, they scored on us. It's only 6 points. There's plenty of football left to be played, so we can buckle down and get things going ourselves.
So Gallagher will kick it away, and oh, what a big-time pop coming through, and it was delivered from a little fella. 22. Derek Streeter, all 6 feet, 150 pounds, just leveled the return man for Powers.
He most certainly did, I tell you.
That was Timmy Meisner who felt the brunt of that hit.
That was just right up the middle right there. I mean, I go back to the sideline and tell the guys on special team, hey, next time they send a wedge buster now, somebody has to stop that guy.
Here's Josh Palmer in the Powers Catholic offense, a 5'8", 160 senior. He's one of the tri-captains for the Chargers. Hands off, gives to Todd Perry. Good looking run from number 9, and Perry gets it over the 30 to the 34-yard line. About 9 yards on that effort from Perry.
Perry, a 5'11", 175 pound junior. Good job of running the ball right there, and this gives him 2 cracks at getting the first down, basically, and it's very short.
So the Powers starters at tight end Riker, line of Pickett, Iatona, Bauman, Mustin, and Asaro. Knickerbocker also at the tight end. Palmer at QB. Perry, who just had that nice carry for 8. Meisner and Markham round out the Powers offense here on 2nd and 2. And it's going to be very close to a Powers first down, as they needed to, and they got it, as they take it over the 35-yard line to about the 36. As getting up underneath the pile for the Chargers, Ryan Park, the fullback, a 5'9", 167-pound junior.
Good job by Park that time. Things were pretty much stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Kept his legs pumping, and the pile got pushed forward, and they pick up a first down.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 35. We'll give you the Kearsley D after this play. Ball carrier Meisner took some time to finally turn it upfield, and when he did, there was a host of blue shirts waiting for him. And leading the surge was Dave Temple, number 4 for the Hornets. So they'll give Meisner a yard. So Kearsley, they sport a 5-3 D, 4 returning starters from a year ago. Temple, Bell, Pierce, and Lalonde, along with Gores up front. Neerick, Cunningham, and Jones, the linebackers. In the secondary, Ridley, Dunning, and Dosh. So give Meisner a yard. It's 2nd and 9 for Powers from their 37, trailing 6-0. Kearsley electrifying this crowd with a 70-yard touchdown pass. And not much there on the 2nd down play for the Chargers. Quick handoff and a quick takedown by the Kearsley D, as Ryan Park was the ball carrier for Powers Catholic. Doesn't get a thing, and it's 3rd and 9.
I was just about to mention that Pat Park did a good job of just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 9 for the Chargers.
Line of the first, just over the 45-yard line, about the 45.5 for the Chargers. Got a man in motion, flags fly, and it is almost intercepted as Josh Palmer rolling left and went through the arms of a Kearsley defender. And we're going to have a procedure call against the Chargers. And if you're Kearsley, you might as well decline it. Force Powers to punt.
You don't want to give them another opportunity to pick up a 1st down.
And Jack Pratt's Hornets do the wise thing. They will decline the procedure call against Powers. And it'll set up a 4th down. And that'll bring out the punting unit. Jack Ridley and Rich Dosh waiting for the punt from Matt Green, who sends it airborne. And Dosh will take it from his own 35-yard line. Ran into one of his own teammates and falls to the turf close to the 35. Well, Kearsley will operate here on their 2nd offensive series. Or check that up to the 40-yard line. Dosh takes it, and it'll be 1st and 10 there.
I'm expecting the Hornets to come out and basically run the same type of offense they ran during the first drive. They're going to run the ball until they have to pass it.
Dosh surveys this 4-4 defense of Powers and Ridley in motion. And they'll give it to Ruff. Trying to work that left side of the line there of Kearsley, and not much there as the right side of the defense smothers Ruff on 1st down. And Ruff picks up a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 9. So the Powers Catholic defense, out of a 4-4 they work. Bentz, Pentanil, Corcoran, and Landell up front. Linebackers of Knickerbocker, Riker, Vasquez, and Kreider. Secondary of Brown, Schreiner, and Markham. Markham, the lone returning starter. Scott, a 6-foot, 170-pound senior. Plays wingback on offense and free safety on defense. He one of the tri-captains along with Knickerbocker and Palmer. So 2nd and 9, Dosh keeps it himself. Looking to turn it up. And some good defense by Powers over there, led by number 81. And Eric Riker, the middle linebacker. 6'1", 200-pound junior. Over there to smother the QB and Dosh. And Dosh gets a couple, and it'll set up 3rd and 7 for Kearsley from their 43.
Good job by the Chargers that time to string that play out. They're well aware that Dosh used to be a running back before becoming a quarterback, and they're aware of what he can do with the football. So excellent job of pursuit that time.
Two receivers to the right of Dosh here on 3rd and 7. And he'll give it to Ruff, shakes off one tackle, gets over the 45 and close to the 49-yard line. The line of the first is about the 49.5, and it's going to be about a yard short, and it's going to make up 4th down.
It looks like the Hornets are, no, they're going to take a timeout.
On 4th and a yard from their 48-yard line. Time called with 5:11 to go here in this opening quarter, and the Hornets with the football and the lead. They lead at 6-0.
Coach Jack Pratt out on the field there. You see him with his trademark yellow slacks.
Well, looking at the preview that in the Flint Journal written by Bill Kahn, talking about how most teams in the situation thrown at them where they lose their starting quarterback who transfers, they would be in a heap of trouble, as Tad Van Pelt, last year's starting quarterback, decided to head to transfer to Corona. But in the meantime, they had an athlete ready and waiting in Rich Dosh, and if you're the Hornets, it may be a blessing in disguise.
Most certainly, you know, Dosh is an excellent athlete. He's been on the varsity. This is his 3rd year on the varsity, so this kid definitely knows what it takes to get the job done.
So the Hornets, after the timeout, they're going to go for it. Watch the long count. Nope, quick snap. Dosh puts his head down, and he has a 1st down. Follows his center, does Rich for a couple of yards, and he has the first move to sticks for Kearsley.
And that's where those running back skills click in right there. You know, sometimes you see quarterbacks when they follow their center. Most of them go sideways first and trying to find a hole to squirt through. But Dosh, being a former running back, just took the snap and just powered straight ahead.
Followed the backside of his center, and Terry Edwards, a 5'10", 175-pound senior. So a 3-yard pickup from Dosh on that 4th and 1. It sets up a 1st and 10 at the Powers 48-yard line. And he'll give it Ruff. Met in the backfield for a loss. 82, Stephen Gores, the defensive tackle, 6'3", 215-pound senior. Boy, did he break out of his stance in a hurry and wrap up Ruff for a loss.
Yeah, he just smoked this man at the line of scrimmage and down in the backfield. Excellent play.
So Ruff loses 3. And football back to the 45 of Kearsley. I stand corrected on that 1st down call. It was from the Kearsley 48-yard line. We like these players on the field. We've really got to work out the kinks here in the broadcast room. It's been some time since we've called the old pigskin.
We certainly have.
2nd down. Mike Pyramid, the fullback. Vasquez, a sophomore middle linebacker, on the tackle. As Vasquez picks up 8, taking it to the Powers Catholic 44, where it sets up a 3rd and 5.
I tell you, this play calling by Jack Pratt is trying to keep this defense off balance. In the 3rd down in the 1st series, they threw the ball, got the touchdown. And the 3rd down in this series of plays, they elected to run the ball.
I say Vasquez meeting Harriman on that carry for Kearsley. Motion man, Risley, loose football. And there's bodies all over the pigskin. And Kearsley has hung on to it. And that'll bring out the punting unit as they recover right at the 45-yard line. Needed to get to the 39 for a 1st. So Powers catches a break with the bobbled snap. And they're going to get the football back. Dave Temple will punt it away for Kearsley. Gets off a high one, and a fair catch is called from Powers' Brandon Schreiner. And Powers will take over. 24-yard punt, no return. And they'll have it from their own 21-yard line.
Good job of holding that time by the Chargers defense. Came out, put the clamps down, they get the football back, and hopefully they can string some things together and get it down the field.
Defensively, very young. Well, the overall perspective on Powers, they are young, but they are quick. Todd Perry, the fullback, on the carry on first down for Powers. And got about a yard at best.
I tell you, both of these teams, the defensive lines for both of these teams are getting off the ball very quick and doing a good job of beating the offensive lineman at the line of scrimmage.
Defensive end Gores for Kearsley on that last tackle. 2nd and 9 for Powers from their 23. And on the keeper, loose football as Palmer lost it, and Kearsley has recovered. That ball looked like it just slipped right out of his hands. Have to take a look at that one on replay thrill to get the proper perspective. All I know is I saw Palmer rolling right. The next thing you know, the football's out.
Yeah, I think Palmer went to pitch that thing, and he pitched it behind the running back. And you got to give an assist to Rich Dosh on that play, because he got in front of the pitch man and kept him from getting to the football first.
So Kearsley recovers at the Powers Catholic 12-yard line, or rather 13. Will have it 1st and 10. See if we can get a look at that replay, guys, in the truck after this play. Dosh on 1st and 10. Motion man Ridley, and flags all over the place, as this one's going to be against Kearsley, as we don't even get the play off.
And you talk about working out the kinks pattern. That's one of those things right there, as we see the penalty being marked off against the Hornets.
So let's take a look at the replay now. Now watch Palmer here, Thrill.
And there you see the pitch. And watch Dosh at the top of the screen. He did an excellent job of getting in front of the pitch man and make sure he didn't get back to the football, and that allowed his teammate to get an open opportunity, which he cashed in on.
Pitch out Ruff here on 1st and 15, and he is stuffed. He's going to lose some yardage. On the right side of the defensive Powers able to stuff Ruff, as he's going to lose a couple. That'll move the football back on that first down carry by Ruff, just inside the 20, so he loses a 2, and it'll be 2nd and 17. Kearsley thus far has had 3 penalties, all on offense, for 25 yards. Nice throw, Dosh completes. Hooking up with number 86 and Steve Winey, the tight end, 6'3", 215-pound senior. Catches inside the 5 to the 8, where it's 3rd and 7 now. Pickup of 10, Dosh to Winey.
I'll tell you, Winey did an excellent job that time of finding the seam in the defense. He just rolled, Dosh rolled out, and he was right with him, and found the open seam, and Dosh hit him right on the numbers.
Pardon me, credit the completion of 13 yards, so it's 3rd and 4 at the 8.
Yes, they are.
Pitch out Ruff. Got some room to work with. Can the Powers defense track him down? They will, but it's going to be a 1st down for Kearsley, a 1st and goal, and then a late flag comes in at the end of the play. As Ruff gets 6, maybe 7 on that jaunt, and let's see what the penalty's all about now.
Tell you, the way this Kearsley team is bagging up.
It's going to be against the Hornets. A clip, and it'll move it all the way back to the 20. Big break for Powers, because maybe one more play by the Kearsley offense, and they would have a 2-touchdown lead. So it'll set up a 3rd and 16 as the clock hits zeros, and the Hornets will not get a playoff here on 3rd down. So let's take a break. 6-0, Kearsley leads Powers Catholic. Quarter number 1 has come to a close. You're watching the Game of the Week on Channel 17.
There's a naval battle being fought on land by forces armed only with commitment and compassion. Because every day, Navy volunteers combat homelessness, hunger, loneliness, and illiteracy by initiating community programs that touch people's lives. And while their exploits aren't honored with medals, it's hard to imagine a more moving tribute.
Welcome back, as our break was a bit premature, as we've got one final play as the clock hit zeros when it wasn't supposed to, as they ran it. And now here is the final play of the first quarter with Dosh rolling right, throws, and it is incomplete, and we've got a penalty flag.
Tough break.
And it looks like it's going to be a pass interference call against Powers Catholic. On 3rd and 16 at the 19. And the defender in Scott Markham, the free safety, I think is the guilty party. That's going to be the call, Thrill, as your referee is talking things over with the offensive captain in Dosh. And let's give you those officials. We didn't have a chance to in that first quarter. Referee Tom Royal, umpire Mike Duff, head linesman Larry Scott, line judge Tom Gibson, and the back judge Paul Scott.
I think what happened in that first penalty, the penalty by the Hornets, is that the quarter couldn't end on a penalty by the offense, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So they had to go ahead and run that last play, even though there wasn't any time on the clock. And with the pass interference on the Chargers, I'm assuming that they still have to run another play before they change ends of the field. I think that's going to be the case.
So here it is, 1st and goal, a 7-yard pass interference penalty assessed to Powers. Ruff takes it inside the 5 to about the 3 as he picks up about 7 yards on that 1st and goal effort. Now the first quarter has officially come to a close. And it is 6-0 Kearsley. Well, we'll just stay here, Thrill, and recap the first quarter. Kearsley got the football first as Powers won the toss, and they deferred to the second half. Kearsley started from their own 31-yard line. And 3 plays later, Rich Dosh hooked up with his receiver, Ryan Dunning. 70 yards for the score. Point after try was missed, and it's 6-0 Kearsley. That came in the opening couple of minutes of this contest. Now Kearsley looking to add to their lead as we begin the second quarter, and they switch ends as they're going to have a 2nd and goal now at the Powers Catholic 3-yard line.
I tell you, that was a very strange ending to the first quarter.
Well, Kearsley has got themselves in this situation in the red zone, as they say, because of a turnover by Powers on offense. As Josh Palmer, the quarterback, was stuck by Rich Dosh. Football squirted loose, and Kearsley recovered at the 13-yard line. Here's Ruff trying to jam it in on 2nd and 3. And there was a wall of white shirts in Powers Catholic waiting there for Ruff, and he is stopped at about the 1-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised right here to see Dosh keep the ball and try to sneak his way into the end zone.
So it's 3rd and goal for Kearsley at the 1.
Oh.
Ruff trying to hurdle the Powers defense, leapfrog, if you will, over the top. Could not. He was sent back, and it's 4th down.
He sure was, and I mean, he didn't even get a chance to get off the ground. I mean, not an inch. Just when he got up on his tiptoes to leap over the pile, he was met by one of the linemen for the Chargers.
What a tremendous defensive stand these last couple of plays by Powers Catholic. We talked about the potent backfield of Kearsley in the open. They've done a number on the blue shirts these last 2 downs. This is a young defense, but you alluded to a few plays back, very quick, and they're showing it right now here on this goal line stand.
They most certainly are. You know, they may not be big, but they can get a lot of people to the ball very fast, and that's exactly what they've done in the stands.
One returning starter back from last year's Powers Catholic squad. That's the free safety and Scott Markham. 5 seniors on that starting defense. 5 juniors and a sophomore. 5, 5, and 1. Senior, junior, sophomore breakdown. So Kearsley calling time. Now they set up the play. Pro set. And they'll give it to Ruff. Does he have it? No signal yet from the official. Yes, they finally raised their arms, signaling touchdown as Ruff just barely broke the plane, Thrill. And he'll take it, Will Kearsley. A touchdown from a yard out. They lead it now 12-0.
And you're right. Insane. Barely, Pat. For a second, I didn't think he got in, but a good second effort, and he was able to push his way into the end zone. We're going to take a look at that right here. There you see the handoff. He was across. You know, it's a little easier to see once you look at it on the monitor on the replay, but once you're looking from up here, at a different angle.
Now Kearsley, after failing the first point after attempt, goes for 2, and they fail as Dosh looking to hook up with his tight end, and Steve Winey could not. Overthrows him, and the 2-point try fails. So with 10:58 to go in this first half, the hosts in Kearsley lead Powers Catholic 12-0. Well, not your most conventional, as I have it unofficially, 9-place, 13-yard touchdown scoring drive there, but the Hornets are going to take it, and they lead at 12-0.
I tell you, what do you do on a drive like that when you come to time out the drive, since they ran 2 plays with no time running on the clock?
I'll leave that up to the official statistician. I'm just the play-by-play guy. That's enough work as it is. Thank you very much.
What a way to start the season.
I don't think we've had this happen the last 3 or 4 years, and we get it in game number 1. But this is what it's all about. Fall is here, and football is upon us. And Kearsley will kick it off, leading 12-0. As the Powers return man loses his footing. That Matt Brown, 22 of 5'8", 130-pound junior, looking to make the cut. Feet came right out from under him, Thrill, and it sprinkled for quite some time before this ball game. Never really had a downpour of any sort, but it is the rain has subsided. But we had a nice sprinkle there for about an hour, hour and a half, and the turf's got to have some moisture on it. So Powers will start from their own 28-yard line, 1st and 10 after the return from Brown. They'll give it to the fullback in Perry. Puts his head forward and gets it up maybe a yard, possibly 2 on that first down play for the Chargers. Brian Gores, defensive end, call his name out again with another tackle for the Hornets. To give Perry about a yard on that first down effort. We'll call it second, a long 9 for the Chargers from their 29. Sorry, Thrill.
Excuse me, Pat. The Chargers are going to have to get something going here. They can't afford to not pick up a first down or a couple of first downs. What's going to happen, these guys may eventually get themselves in a rut, and that's something you don't want to do.
Nothing going on that second down play. Ryan Park, the fullback, with the carry. Took it up close to the 30. about a half yard, and it's going to be 3rd and long here for Powers Catholic. Calling no gain for Park. So it's 3rd and 9. It's Perry. Takes it to the 36. Line of the first is the 38, and Powers Catholic's going to be short. As Perry with a nice run, Powers Catholic could have used that on 1st or 2nd down, not on 3rd down, and they're going to be short of a 1st, and that'll bring out the punting unit.
And talking about working out the kinks, one place you definitely have to have the kinks worked out, not only in the first ball game, but any ball game, as well as the special teams.
So Green's going to punt it again for Powers. This is 2nd punt of the night. A low punt, and a fair caught by the Kearsley return man. Bobbled for a moment, and then he smothers it. And Ridley, number 20, hauls it in. And Kearsley's going to have some good field position here on their 4th offensive series of this first half. So a 28-yard punt, no return. And we have 8:56 remaining here in this first half.
You know, the Hornets have had decent field position to start off with every drive, this first half.
Started from their own 31. That would turn into a 70-yard touchdown pass, Dosh to Ridley. Then they got it from their own 40, punted. And then they took over at the Powers Catholic 13 after a forced fumble. So this one from their 39-yard line. Pitch out Ruff on 1st and 10. Nothing there as he tries to turn the corner. We got a flag come in at the end of the play, and we may have a defensive penalty here. Nope. Pardon me, a Kearsley penalty, blocking below the knees. So my apologies to the Powers D. This one's going to go against Kearsley, and they have been penalized an awful lot on the offensive side, have the Hornets tonight.
They most certainly have, Pat. That's very uncharacteristic for a Jack Pratt coach team to see this many penalties in a game, let alone in a half.
Kenny Ayers doing it all. Sideline reporting, keeping stats up here for us. Kearsley thus far in this first half has been penalized 5 times for 45 yards. So we'll replay 1st down. And first and a whole lot as the footballs move back to the 23-yard line. Where it's 1st down and 25, and Kearsley's Ryan Dunning working left side of that Kearsley offense, tried to turn the corner, could not. Eric Riker, 81, leading the D. So it's no gain on the carry. So it's 2nd down and call it a long 25 for the Hornets as Dosh is back to throw.
Plenty of time.
Eludes traffic. Now he's got some real estate to work with. Turns it up and takes it close to the 35-yard line before he's wrapped up and brought down by Steve Landell.
Landell that time wasn't going to be fooled. Dosh almost picked up a block right at the end of that play that would have gotten him around the corner and a little further, probably a little closer to the original line of scrimmage, but that time Landell did an excellent job of stringing that play out, fighting off the block and making a tackle.
So give Dosh 9 on that 2nd down and 25-yard carry. Takes it up to the 34 where it's 3rd and a bunch. 15 yards to go now for Kearsley. Need to get it up to about the 48.5 for a 1st down. Dosh out of the gun on 3rd down. Throws a perfect strike to Ridley. Makes the grab, takes it over the 45 to about the 46-yard line. He's going to be about 3 yards short of a 1st down, though. But a well-executed play by the Kearsley offense.
It sure was, and after that catch was made, he turned it in and tried to, looked like he was going to try to go around the long way to pick up some extra yardage, but kind of cut that thing short and turned it right upfield to try to pick up the first down. And got pretty close.
Got 14, did Kearsley on that third down play. Dosh to Ridley. But they needed 16 for a first down, so they're going to bring out the punting team. Dave Temple's going to punt it away for the Hornets. Temple with a nice kick. And the Chargers just back away, and Kearsley is going to down it inside the 10-yard line. Nice punt from Temple, as they'll spot it down at the 8. So a 46-yard punt and no return.
When you have two guys back there fielding punts, one of those guys has to come up with the football. And you can't just let that thing go between you two and have it roll down there like that.
Well, they'll spot it at the 9 actually, so credit the punt from Temple of 45 yards. So we got 5:51 remaining in this first half. Kearsley up 12-0. And Powers has the football on first down, and they are stacked up immediately by the middle of the Kearsley defense. As Josh Palmer, 5'8", 160-pound senior. His 160 pounds were thrown back immediately, and he loses about 2, and it'll be second and a long 11 here for the Chargers. Good looking turnout here for the season opener between Powers Catholic and Kearsley, and we would expect that. And the Chargers with a conservative call on second down, run it. And they take it up to the 10-yard line for a couple of yards.
Speaking of the crowd, Pat, some of the games we've done here, being on the outside as a sideline reporter and being down there on the sideline, and you can pretty much feel the electricity, and then, you know, coming off the fans here, they have a very great crowd here, very enthusiastic and very supportive.
Ryan Park on that second down carry. Landell in motion on 3rd and 8. Powers running, and they are stuffed. And Bill Tucker doesn't look to want to risk anything. Pinned deep in his own territory. Runs it on 3rd down, and he'll bring out the punting unit and try to get out of this dangerous territory throw.
The punter, you have to be careful here. Any situation that he may get into, you may want to look to eat that thing instead of running it out and giving him opportunity for a quick 7.
Green with time, punts away from his own end zone, end over end. And it is fair caught inside the 40-yard line. Jack Ridley hauls it in, takes a knee just inside the 40. And Kearsley's going to have some excellent field position.
And they start this drive on the other side of the 50.
Powers, the running game, which had some promise going in, has been held to 23 yards on 11 carries. Give some credit to that Kearsley D. So Kearsley has 3:44 to work with before halftime. They're up 12-0 and looking to add to this lead. As one of the big blue shirts on the right side of the Kearsley line looking to get out of his stance before the snap. Mistimes it. And we're going to have a penalty against Kearsley, and we'll move it back 5 yards. So the procedure against Kearsley, replay first down. It'll be 1st and 15 now at the Powers Catholic 45.
Maybe after those two-a-day practices and scrimmages and things like that, maybe these guys just are a little antsy. The emotion is definitely here, and the electricity is in the crowd, and maybe these guys just just firing off the ball.
Finally get to hit somebody besides your own teammate. Uh-oh, Dosh loses a snap. Loose football. And the official signals Kearsley has recovered. And the rule down right at the 45, so no gain. And it'll be 2nd and 15. Nothing. Kearsley with the lead over Powers. Scored a touchdown in the first quarter. 70-yard touchdown pass, Dosh to Ridley, and then Pat Ruff added a touchdown in the second quarter. Dosh aired it out on 2nd down. Looking to hook up with his favorite receiver. Actually looking for Dunning, 21, and it's incomplete.
Tell you, if Dosh could have got a little more air under that pass, Dunning probably would have ran that one down too. What he's doing is he's just at the last second he's accelerating right past the defenders, and if that ball had a little more air under it, he'd probably be in the end zone again.
Actually, that was his favorite receiver, as Ridley 20 has also been used, as he is split to the left this time on 3rd and 15 for Kearsley with 2 receivers. Snap over the head of Dosh. And what's the call? As the play has been blown dead, as there is a flag down. And a procedure call once again against Kearsley. So if you're Kearsley that time, you catch a break with the procedure call, because that play was in trouble literally right from the snap, as it was over the head of Dosh out of shotgun.
And that play is blown dead, penalty on the offense. And I tell you, although they're up 12 zip right now, I'd hate to be in that Kearsley locker room at halftime. It's not going to be pleasant.
Second illegal procedure call of this series, which started at the Powers Catholic 40. It's 3rd and 20 now, and the ball at midfield. Hornets line of the first just inside the 30-yard line. Dosh directing traffic, getting his receiver in place. And he'll bark out signals. And he'll roll to the left. Looking upfield, throws, and it's intercepted. 65, Danny Vasquez, the sophomore inside linebacker, had a beat on the Dosh pass, picks it off, and Powers Catholic will take over.
He most certainly did. Excellent job of dropping into pass coverage and made his break on the ball right at the right time, and did an excellent job of getting around the receiver and not bumping it one big step right in the passing lane and picked it off. So you see Dosh right there on the roll. He sets and throws and steps right in there. Big break for the Chargers.
So the Chargers finally some momentum on their side. Each team with a turnover apiece now. And Powers takes over with 2:35 remaining before halftime, trailing 12-0. This is their best field position of the ball game, as they have it from their own 49-yard line. And the quarterback fakes the handoff, does Palmer, keeps it himself, working left side of the Powers O-line. He'll take it into Kearsley territory for a couple of yards.
And I tell you, that drive right there, it had doom written all over it for Kearsley. I mean, they gained 9 yards and get a penalty to set them back 10, and then they gain 12 more and have a penalty to set them back, you know, a few more yards.
So they'll give the quarterback and Palmer 3, and it's 2nd and 7. Clock under 2 and counting now before half. Powers will run it again, and not much there if they'll give him forward progress. He'll get about a yard. Will the Powers runner in park? Now Powers is going to call timeout. They've got 2 remaining. Kearsley with 1 remaining, as Powers will stop the clock with 1:43 to go. So they'll give Park a yard on that carry. And it'll be 3rd and 6 when this timeout comes to a close and we resume play. And Powers has not gone to the air in quite some time, Thrill, offensively. And if you're going to, I think this would be the time.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pat. The ground game, 2 downs, I think they look like they picked up about 4 yards, 4 or 5 yards. And they've constantly run the ball, but haven't had very much success at it. And yeah, eventually you're going to have to go to the air.
They have not officially gone to the air yet. Preview written by Bill Kahn in the Flint Journal. Bill Tucker being quoted as we're going to be run-oriented, and that they have thus far in this opening half against Kearsley. Palmer fakes, tossing it out to the flat, and nobody home for Powers Catholic, and it's incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down, and let's see, Powers is going to bring out the punting unit. Here on 4th and 6. So Palmer's stats through the air, 0 for 1 there. His first pass attempt well ahead of the receiver. Matt Green will punt it away now for the Chargers. Kearsley looking for the fake. Powers will punt it. And this will take a Charger roll. And it's going to be spotted down at the 5-yard line. Scott Markham, one of the tri-captains on this Charger squad, chases the pigskin and marks it at the 5. So a 42-yard punt from Green and no return. So Kearsley will have 129 to work with here before our first half comes to a close. They are from their own 5-yard line here.
Yeah, plenty of time to get the ball down the field. They're going to have to do some throwing, obviously, unless somebody breaks off a huge run. But there's plenty of time for them.
They've got potential for a huge run with Dosh at QB and Lalonde and Ruff in the backfield. They'll give it to the first man through, and there's a nice run. That taken by Mike Harriman, the fullback, and he just burst right out his stance. First man through. And Charger defense wasn't expecting 36 to get the rock that time, and neither did we up here as he breaks one off for 13 yards up to the 18-yard line. Now Jack Pratt would utilize his final timeout with 1:23 to go before the half. You know, looking at Jack Pratt's resume, as well as Bill Tucker's, it's a lengthy one, but Pratt's is most interesting as this is his 18th season at Kearsley, compiling a record of 100 wins and 57 losses for a 63% winning percentage. He has coached 36 seasons overall as head coach, and his overall mark is 217, 102, and 7. Now he's been a head coach at Grand Blanc, a head coach over at St. Matt's, and he's been formerly an assistant coach with Bill Tucker for head coach Fred Rademacher for a short time at Powers. So he is a legend. And Jack just looks younger and younger year in and year out. Jogs over to his sideline as he gives instructions to his team here on 1st and 10 from the 18. And Ruff will take it up to the 25 for about 7. Clock continues to roll. And Kearsley up 12-0. Looking at Bill Tucker's resume, this is his 19th season as head coach at Powers. 124 and 46 for a 72% winning percentage. He's been an assistant at Powers for head coach Fred Rademacher and formerly an assistant at St. Agnes for Tom Skinner Sr. Tom's dad, a legendary coach way back when, and the local parochial league. Bill Tucker getting some work under Tom Skinner Sr. way back when. 40 seconds and counting to go in the first half, and Kearsley will hand it off, and a flag comes in. Loose football as the officials blow it dead as the ball carrier of the Hornets was down. It was Ruff with the carry. He's had a pretty good first half.
I think the Hornets right here are going to just bait him with the run for a while and eventually fake that play action fake and eventually throw the ball here somewhere.
The potential is there as Dosh has shown an accurate arm. And he's got a couple of good receivers out there, and Ridley and Dunning. So it's going to be a holding call against Kearsley, and that'll move the Hornets back.
That's been a familiar phrase.
So we'll mark it back to the 15-yard line, a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay second down, and it'll be 2nd and 13 with 36 and 6/10 seconds to go in this first half. Clock is running now, and Kearsley really in no hurry, as don't want to do anything foolish, as they are in control of this football game, leading 12-0. Dosh taking some time in the huddle. Calls the play. And he'll just keep it himself. And the Hornets look to just run out this clock here. But before they can, Powers is going to call timeout with 6.8 seconds to go. Dosh picks up 2 on that quarterback keeper. Powers hoping for a Kearsley mistake here on offense. Assistant coach Jim Newman's out there, and you better believe, Thrill, he's telling his Charger players to grab for that football and try to rip it. Cause a fumble.
And that's exactly what you're going to want to do in this situation. They're not going to throw the ball, obviously, and they're going to run the clock out, but you want to try to strip that thing loose, and hopefully you can come up with something in the last seconds.
If you're Kearsley, on the other hand, you might as well just have Dosh take a knee as soon as he gets the snap.
I hope it's not like the Green Bay-Chicago game when Brett Favre went to take a knee and one of the Bears' defensive linemen just shoved the center right over the top of him.
Yep, that's exactly what Dosh will do. And Powers will not utilize that final timeout. Kearsley's going to head to the locker room with a 12-0 lead over their rivals from Powers Catholic. First half has come to a close. Hornets 12, Chargers nothing. We will step aside. When we return, we'll have some first half stats. Set you up for the second half. You're watching the Game of the Week on Channel 17. Kearsley up 12-0.
Now, in this case, you want to cross a fence.
Each year, thousands of certified volunteers teach hunter safety classes. First-time hunters must pass the course to get a license.
Keep the action open.
Welcome back to CK Richards Field, home of the Kearsley Hornets, site of our home opener on Comcast Cable Channel 17 Game of the Week. Joining me here now for some first half stats, Kenny Ayers. I'm Pat Daly, and Kenny, well, Powers, boy, did they struggle offensively. They coming in, we're going to be run-oriented, and Kearsley has stuffed them, as they have really done a number on that Powers offense, haven't they?
Yeah, Powers only had 28 rushing yards, 0 passing, 28 total yards. The biggest bright spot in Powers' offense so far is Todd Perry, 4 carries for 19 yards, and they had a big turnover there in the first quarter that led to a Hornet touchdown.
Rich Dosh, junior quarterback, this is his 3rd year on the varsity. And though his numbers aren't impressive, his composure and the leadership of this Kearsley offense has, and they've looked pretty good.
Yeah, he had a bomb pass there in the first quarter, scored the first touchdown. Other than that, he was 3 for 7, had an interception and threw for 94 yards. His touchdown pass went to Ryan Dunning for 80 yards there.
And total yardage there for Kearsley, really doing a number. 159 yards, 65 of that on the ground, but this score could be a lot worse. It could be more than 12-0, but Kearsley was penalized an awful lot offensively.
Yeah, in the first half there, they had 8 penalties for 70 yards, and they did fumble the ball twice, but luckily it was recovered by Kearsley.
Each team with a turnover apiece, and the Powers turnover turning into a Kearsley touchdown. And Kearsley, well, Pat Ruff, an all Big 9 runner a year ago, he adding a touchdown as well.
Yep.
So Kearsley with a 12-0 lead, and Powers is going to have the football to begin this second half of play. Thank you, Kenny, for stepping in with the first half stats, and we'll hear from you in the postgame.
All righty.
And now we'll bring in William McNeil, and we'll get his thoughts as we set up this second half of action. Big 9 conference foes, Powers Catholic, as they come to the field, as you see in the wide shot. And they've got their work cut out for them in this second half. They haven't done too badly on the defensive side. Offense is where they struggle, and that's what we talked about with Kenny. And a lot of the running has come between the tackles, and we'll have to see what kind of play calling comes in this second half for Powers in order to get back into this football contest.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to get the ball outside and get around the corner, and they're definitely going to have to put the ball in the air if the running game continues to struggle like it has been in the first half.
Well, this is a young ball club, as we talked about, as the underclassmen outnumber the seniors on this team by about a 2-to-1 ratio for Powers Catholic, and they are working out the kinks here in that first half, and let's see if they can get it going in the second half with Josh Palmer, one of the tri-captains at quarterback. This is his first start as a quarterback for Powers Catholic. As we see the Chargers offense, they will have the football first. This is a little premature, but we'll give them to you anyhow. Offensive line of Piggott, Iatona, Ballman, Mustin, the only senior, and Asaro up front offensively for Powers Catholic. Quarterback is Palmer, Perry at fullback, Meisner the halfback, the wingback is Markham, returning starter from a year ago, the only one on offense, Riker and Knickerbocker of the double tight end set for Powers Catholic. As they have put a fresh 3 minutes up on the clock, and now the Kearsley Hornets, back-to-back Big 9 conference champions, and as we talked about Thrill in the open, a three-peat not out of the question with the dangerous offensive weapons they have, and they are definitely well coached.
Yeah, most certainly isn't out of the question, and judging from the first half, they look like they're well on their way. They're going to have to erase the penalties somewhere down the line, because eventually those can come back to haunt you, but so far so good.
So we'll go over the scoring summary in the first half as we have an opportunity. Kearsley got the football first as they took just 3 plays, 70 yards, as Dosh hooked up with Dunning. 70-yard touchdown strike. Point after try, no good, and it was 6-0. That score stood after 1 quarter of play. Kearsley taking advantage of a Powers fumble. Rich Dosh igniting the D, putting the big-time hit on the quarterback from Powers Catholic, Palmer. Kearsley recovered at the Powers Catholic 13-yard line. Numerous penalties on that Kearsley offensive drive, and it was your unconventional 9-play, 13-yard scoring drive as Pat Ruff converted on 4th and goal from the 1, and the 2-point try no good. And it's 12-0 Kearsley at that point, and that's where we stand as we head to this third quarter. So Kearsley will head over to their sideline. Powers is already over to theirs, and they are getting respective instructions from their coaching staffs as we are getting set to go for this second half. I'll give you a rundown of what our football broadcast schedule looks like as we have this moment. Next Friday, we will be over at Atwood Stadium for a Saginaw Valley Conference matchup as Flint Central, Joe Ufiger's Indians, will host Bay City Western. Air date will be 9:15, Monday at 8:30, and Tuesday at 9:16. That's September the 16th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then week 3 will be, as we have dubbed it, the Burton Bowl. Fasten your seatbelts. Bentley and Bendel, get it on for bragging rights. in Burton. It'll be Friday, September the 19th. And that air date will be Monday, September the 22nd at 8:30, and then Tuesday, September 23rd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So here come the Hornets. They will kick it off. Powers Catholic will have the football to begin this third quarter. As the return man for the Chargers takes it over the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Well, let's recap the Powers Catholic offense, as we showed it to you a moment ago, but give these guys an opportunity to see their names on the screen again. As the offensive line of Pickett, Iatona, Bauman, Mustin, and Asaro are the offensive line for Bill Tucker. Palmer at QB, Perry the fullback, Meisner the halfback, Markham the wingback, and the double tight end set of Riker and Knickerbocker round out the Chargers offense. So they'll have it from their 28-yard line on 1st and 10. And they'll take it over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Running right up the middle is Perry, the fullback. So we'll get that Kearsley defense set for you now. As we'll have the front five of the Hornets with the Temple, Bell, Pierce, Lalonde, and Gores up front. Out of that 5-3, the Hornet D works. Linebackers of Neerick, Cunningham, and Jones. Secondary, Ridley, Dunning, and Dosh. A good one. So they'll give Perry 4, will the official. So it's 2nd and 6 for the Chargers from their 32. They're going to air it out on 2nd down. Far sideline, and it's caught. Palmer finds a receiver, well thrown and caught. And they're in the Kearsley territory, are the Chargers.
And it most certainly was, well thrown and a well caught pass, as the pass was right over on the sideline, and the receiver had to look back and in the slight rain here and come down with that thing. Excellent catch, and Power offense is got a little momentum going for them now. Let's see if they can build on it.
16 yards on the hookup. I believe Eric Riker was the one who caught it for the Chargers, the tight end. And the ball is at the Hornet 42-yard line. And now Powers, with the success of that pass play, excited and didn't get things set offensively. And one of the Powers coaches comes out to the field, and Powers uses a timeout early.
Not good. You never know when you're going to need those things a little further down the line, and 50 seconds gone in the third quarter, and they've already burned the timeout.
Good look at both squads there in their huddles, down on one knee. Powers is getting set on offense, Kearsley on defense, and we are set to go here. 1st and 10, Powers has the football at their 42-yard line. At the Kearsley 42-yard line, pardon me.
1st and 10 for the Chargers.
And Perry with the carry, or check that. That was number 28 for the Chargers, Steve Landell, and he faked everybody, did the Powers offensive quarterback in Palmer, as the 3 blue shirts were around him, bringing him down. And a tricky handoff to Landell, who shot downfield, but we're going to have a procedure call against Powers, which will scratch that effort from Landell. Let him move the football back to the 47. And it'll be 1st and 15. Well, this is a big offensive line, Power Sports. They average 235 pounds with the bookends and the tackles, and Pickett at 260 and Asaro at 267. Another flag comes in. Pitch out Meisner, who is strung out and wrapped up for a loss. is Dave Temple. From his defensive end spot, 6'4", 210-pound senior wraps him up and brings him down, and we got another procedure call against Powers Catholic.
And I tell you, the same penalties that plagued the Hornets in the first half are plaguing the Chargers here in the second half with the illegal procedure calls.
Kearsley elects to decline it.
Here's the first reading of the winning ticket to the 50-50. 868-172.
So it'll be second down and 15 yards to go. Instead of giving Powers another crack on first down, instead of 1st and 20, it's 2nd and 15 for the Chargers. Meisner had no gain on that effort. Palmer keeps himself, got away from some tacklers, and he will take it inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Palmer quick, and he can be invisible, so to speak, running through that Kearsley defense. He is not really of the big stature. He is 5'8", 160. The next thing you know, he could be blowing by you. In that case, he did for a pretty good gainer.
And I tell you, Palmer did an excellent job to elude the initial pass rush in the backfield, as he got away from one of the defensive linemen and shaking and baking the rest of the way downfield.
Hold everything as this play is ruled dead as we got another flag down on 3rd and 7 as Palmer picked up 8, and another procedure call against Powers. So instead of 3rd and 7 facing Powers Catholic, it'll be 3rd and 12 with that 5-yard procedure call. That'll move the football back to the 44. Line of the first is the 32 of Kearsley. Center and Bauman up to the football first for Powers Catholic. Palmer surveying his offense as well as the Kearsley defense under center now. Back to throw. Got to carry it out, and he had a man. He did throw and overthrew him and incomplete. Brandon Schreiner, 6 foot, 170-pound junior, was open, had his defender beat, but Palmer overthrows, and it brings up 4th down.
I tell you, that has to be a positive sign for the Chargers right there. Had one big pass play on this drive, and that time they almost connected on a real big pass play. They have to have some confidence in knowing that they can throw the ball.
Ridley and Dosh, the return men for the punt, as Green will punt it away for Powers Catholic. Sends up a high one. Kearsley be wise just to get away so it doesn't touch him. And Perry will douse it, or spot it there as it took a Kearsley bounce as it landed at about the 27, 28-yard line, bounced all the way back up to the 35 where Kearsley will have the football.
Let's see if we can take another look at that punt again. Dave Temple for the Hornets looked like he had his man beat at the line and had opportunity to block the punt, but it looked like he just stopped all of a sudden or kind of ran past the punter, but it looked like he had opportunity to either block that or just make the tackle.
Try to get that Kearsley offense to you on the screen for you after this play. On 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their 36-yard line as Dosh hands off Ruff. We got a flag come in as Ruff picks up a couple, but this may come back. See a good look at the crowd here. Well, first we'll have the Kearsley offense for you. That's the line of Harriman, Hyde, Edwards, Reef, and Grimes. See, he's the only junior starter on that offensive line. The rest of the offense goes like this with Dosh, Lalonde, and Ruff in the backfield. Slot back Ridley. Winey at tight end, and Clifford is the split end. So procedure call against the Hornets. Move the football back 5 yards. We'll replay first down. Hornets will have it from their 30 where it's 1st and 15. Powers for you after this play. Ridley in motion on first down. Dosh faking handoff, being chased by the Powers defender, throws, and it's incomplete. Tough pass thrown by Dosh on the run and threw it across his body upfield and underthrew it. And it'll bring up second down after the incomplete pass. Here's the Powers defense now. Out of the 4-4 they work. Betts, Pettenil, Corcoran, and Landell up front. Linebacking core of Knickerbocker, Riker, Vasquez, who's a sophomore, number 65, and Kreider, an outside linebacker. Secondary of Brown, Schreiner, Markham, and DeCosa. Hey, why not throw the kicker in there? John Engel.
Kickers are players too.
We've got a new quarterback in there for the Hornets, and number 8, Tony Jordan, who guns it downfield. Oh, a touchdown-saving tackle by Brandon Schreiner. Dunning would add Pater.
Let's check the flag.
As there is a flag down,
guess
and
what?
this is coming back. Another procedure call. Tony Jordan, his first snap under center in this contest. 6'3", 195-pound senior coming in off the bench cold. Throws a perfect strike down the near sideline to Dunning, but it's coming back as the Hornets are whistled for a procedure.
I mean, a perfect strike. That was dead on the money.
Jordan's going to stay out there as he will get some time at QB as not sure if Dosh has remained on the field or not. I don't see Rich, so he is on the Kearsley sideline. Jordan at QB, 2nd and 20 for the Hornets from their 25, and he's going to gun it again. This time, looking again for Dunning, but the closest man to was Brandon Schreiner, the quarterback for Powers Catholic. And it's just out of his outstretched reach, and he couldn't haul it in. So it's a 3rd down and 20 now for the Hornets.
They have that speed on the offensive side of the ball, and they're just sending the man deep. It's kind of like you draw it up on the sand line where you just tell your receivers go, and you put the ball out there. Hopefully they can run up under it.
Look at the Hornets cheerleaders. Kearsley up 12-0, 8:42 to go, 3rd quarter, and they have the football. Jordan with a long count. He'll pitch it out. This to Ruff. He's got some room. Shakes off a tackle. He's down the sideline in the Powers Catholic territory for a 1st down and more as he is bucked out at the 45-yard line.
And I tell you throw that long pass downfield, you stretch the defense, and you stretch the defense, and you come back with the run, and lo and behold, on 3rd and real long, they pick up a 1st down.
Leading rusher in the first half picks up where he left off. Pat Ruff, a 30-yard run and a 1st down for Kearsley. Here's another look.
There you just see the pitch to Ruff, and good block at the point of attack, and breaks the tackle right there, does the rest on his own.
Finally hauled down, as you saw there, by Adam Nicholson, the defensive back. Ruff picks up 30. It's 1st and 10 for the Hornets at the Powers 44-yard line. Ruff again on the carry. Takes it close to the 40 for about 4 yards. Pettengill, the defensive tackle for Powers Catholic, makes the tackle. Ball at the 41 of Powers Catholic, so call it 3 yards picked up there by Ruff, and we'll say it's 2nd and 7. Again, they go to Ruff. Works his way through the Powers Catholic defense, takes it to about the 36-yard line for about 5, and it's going to be 3rd down and short and about 2 to go.
And this is pretty much 4-down territory right in here. So you can look at the Hornets having 2 tries to pick up that 1st down.
3rd and about 3, we'll call it, at the Powers Catholic 36. Motion man Ridley gets into a spot, and the handoff to Ruff, and he's going to have a first down. Pat Ruff with his 4th consecutive carry, doing a number on the Powers Catholic defense as he takes it to the 32-yard line for about 4, call it the 31 for a 5-yard effort. So Ruff has had 4 carries for 43 yards here. All consecutive here on this series for Kearsley.
You know, we talked about that offensive line for the Chargers, but on the defensive side of the ball, they go 191, 165, 195, and 210. By no means small, but they're definitely getting pushed back.
Ridley in motion. They go to Ruff for the 5th time. Shakes through the Powers Catholic defense for a big gain. He's got another first down. Inside the 15 to about the 14 for Pat Ruff. All Big 9 conference a year ago, and he is looking awfully sharp as he did last season. Here's another look now at the break from Ruff.
You see Ruff right there, shook off one tackle, made another defender miss, and just straight ahead running, nothing fancy, north and south.
17 yards from Ruff, and another first down. 1st and 10 for Kearsley at the Powers Catholic 14. Ridley again in motion. They go to Ruff again. Shakes off a tackle. He's into the end zone. Oh, Pat Ruff. Touchdown, Kearsley.
And I tell you, that was a very deserving touchdown after Ruff, the big run to pick up the first down. And about 30-yard run to pick up the first down, and they finished out the drive with him.
Kearsley's drive began from their 36-9 plays. Later, they punch it in. Pat Ruff with 6 consecutive carries amasses 64 yards and ends the scoring drive with a 14-yard touchdown run. And it's all Kearsley. They lead it 18-0. Gallagher now for the point after try. Kearsley has failed on their first 2 efforts after touchdowns in the first half. Gallagher this time knocks it through. And the point after is good. 6:08 to go, 3rd quarter. All Kearsley, they lead Powers Catholic 19-0. Boy, they're riding the big shoulders of Kearsley. As he used the old cliche, he's only 5'6", 165 pounds, but he's playing like he's 6'6", 265, as much as he dominated offensively for Kearsley on that recent offensive series.
He most certainly did, and again, I say it was nothing fancy. He just made slight moves when he had to, but for the most part, north and south, and he's just taking the hand off. He's seeing the field very well and hitting the hole fast and hard, and the rest is history.
Well, Kenny Ayers' numbers, Pat Ruff, 15 carries, 98 yards through 2.5 quarters of play, and 2 touchdowns. 1 from a yard out, and this most recent from 14 yards out. Kearsley will kick it off. Tim Meisner with the return and takes it upfield for a few yards before the blue shirts of Kearsley are all over him. And he is taken down just short of the 25-yard line. So this is Powers' second offensive series of this second half, as we are halfway through this 3rd quarter. Give it right to the first man through there, and not much there from the Powers Catholic runner. And he's the last one to get up as Perry, the fullback, on that carry. He doesn't get anything for no gain.
I think that run may be one of those keep them honest plays so they don't suspect that they have to throw the ball every down and just pin their ears back and come. You want to keep them off balance a little bit.
Back to throw Palmer, looking over the middle and completes to the tight end and Riker. Taking it up to the 40-yard line and a Powers Catholic first down. 15 yards, Palmer to Riker will move the sticks for Powers Catholic, and we haven't said that an awful lot. They have not had many first downs in this contest.
No, they have not, and that has to give them a little confidence.
This is their second first down of this half, and I don't think they had as many as 2 in the first half. Have an opportunity. I will look back and check that accurately. Back-to-back passing plays. A lot of air underneath it. And it's incomplete. Looking for Brandon Schreiner. Broken up at the last moment by the Kearsley defensive back.
I'm going to tell you, Schreiner went up that time, and I think that ball hit him right in the chest, and he wasn't able to come down with it on the rebound, as the Dosh did an excellent job of pulling him away from the ball and make sure he didn't get a second opportunity to catch that.
Powers had 1 first down in the first half. They've got 2 now in the second half. Nice looking run there from 28 and Steve Landell. Landell takes it up close to midfield, and that's 2nd and 10 play. And Powers is going to have about a yard, maybe yard and a half for a first down needed to go here. Dunning on the tackle for Kearsley.
Good job on the run that time, and it sets up a 3rd and short. And I'm sure that they'll take 2 opportunities to pick up this first down.
Need to get the football just past midfield, does Powers. It's Perry, the ball carrier. He will get the first down and more, keeping those legs pumping. He'll take it into Kearsley territory. So this is Powers' best drive to date in this contest. This started from their own 25-yard line, did this Charger offensive series, and they've taken it into Kearsley territory to the 48-yard line.
Perry that time stacked up at the line of scrimmage and just kept those legs pumping, and got some help from a few of his friends with the white jerseys on, and pushed that power forward to pick up the first down.
They should have the ability to do that. As we talked about, Powers Catholic's offensive line averaging 235 pounds. They've got the size advantage over this Kearsley defensive line. And finally, they throwing their weight around literally and getting their fullback in Perry a first down.
You look at 200, 260, 235, 220, 197, and 267. Kind of remind me of the Cowboys on a smaller scale.
Landell in motion. Palmer to throw it. The southpaw connects. That to Brandon Schreiner, the wide receiver. 6-foot junior.
And that was a strike. Palmer that time just took his time and set and just fired that thing right in here.
Palmer to Schreiner for 9. Schreiner hauled it in with a knee down just inside the 40 at the 39. And it'll be 2nd and 1 for Powers Catholic. They'll give it to the fullback in Perry. And he's going to be very close to a first down, depending on forward progress, as he was spun around and sent back. And looking at the official spot, they're going to give it to him. And we're going to have to bring out the chain gang, it appears, and they will. Officials' time to measure this. This is very close. Drew, you have a pretty good angle here, right up in the press box. What do you think?
I think he made it. But I wear glasses.
Not even a half a football's length.
You know, I've been known to be wrong sometimes. Not often, but
not often, you're right.
Thanks, Pat. I feel real good about that.
Do what I can for your support. So Perry got about a half yard on that effort. Maybe 3/4 of a yard, so to speak, as Powers needed 1, and they are about a nose of a football short here. So it's 3rd and inches now for Powers Catholic. I would expect Palmer just to follow his center and Ballman. Nope, they'll give it to the fullback. Quick handoff, Perry, and he's got the first down. Got more than those inches. He got a couple. And Powers with another first. And Powers has more than doubled their first half yardage. They had 28 in the first half. They've got 65 now in this second half. So this offense starting to move a bit. That's a good sign if you're Chargers.
This has been a very long drive for the Chargers too.
3 yards on that last run from Perry. Palmer faking handoff, now rolling left. Got some speed, does Palmer, and he is unable to turn a corner as he is lassoed from behind and brought down by the Kearsley defender. Well, he faked to about 2 or 3 different guys there, did the quarterback in Palmer. And then looked upfield, or looked downfield rather, and not sure if pass was on his mind or not. Then he just turned and looked to get the Jets going, but could not as he was taken down. But he picks up 2, and it'll be 2nd and 8 at the 35. He'll throw, screen, out to Meisner. Spins off some tackles and takes it down to the 30. Palmer to Meisner for about 5 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 3, as they'll rule him down at the 29-yard line.
Meisner fighting to pick up some extra yardage there, and some opportunities when you fight to pick up that extra yardage, you sometimes lose the football in the process. But Meisner did an excellent job of holding on to that football while he was fighting to pick up those extra yards.
This the 11th play of the drive for Powers, which started from their own 25-yard line. 3rd down and 2 at the Kearsley 29. Powers needs to get to the 27. Handoff Perry. He's got a first down and more. Big hole. Takes it inside the 20 and taken down at about the 18-yard line, and a late flag comes in. And the Kearsley players signaling Powers here, and we'll have to wait and see.
I tell you, Ridley came up that time to make a hit on Perry, and Perry put an excellent move on him to get around him and pick up extra yardage.
This would be a tough break for Powers as they pick up another first down, but it may be coming back. A personal foul against Powers.
It had to be something at the end of the play, maybe somebody coming in with a late block or something of that nature. I tell you, to continue talking about this Powers drive, Pat, it's been a long drive, but they've taken their time and been patient and been able to move the football. Here we take another look. There you see the handoff to Perry. There's the tackle, and there you see it right there at the top of the screen. It was one of the linemen for the Hornets came in late.
Rutherford to the Chargers.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you say you make mistakes not too often, so I'm marking that one down. So the personal foul call against Powers takes away the nice run from Perry, who had a first down. So they'll give Powers the first, and then we'll mark off the yardage with the personal foul call back to the 34-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Meisner with a run. Takes it to the 25 for about 9. Nice looking run from Meisner. 5'11", 172-pound junior. Now we have a flag Didn't see it, but it's going to be a personal foul call against Kearsley.
And those 15 yards Powers gave up, they just got back.
And it'll take the football inside the 15 to the 13, where it's 1st and 10, Powers Catholic. So the exchanging of personal fouls now is in Powers' favor, as we're under 30 seconds and counting to go in quarter number 3. That's Perry, the ball carrier. Pretty looking run as he takes it close to the 5-yard line. Actually spotted down at about the 6. About 7 on that effort from the fullback in Perry. You see the final seconds ticking away here in this third quarter. And it doesn't appear that Powers is going to get a playoff. The home team in Kearsley leading 19-0. But Powers is knocking on the door. Touchdowns door, and they will have a chance at it, but they will have to wait till the fourth quarter. As this third quarter has come to a close from C.K. Richards Field, Kearsley leads Powers Catholic in the season opener for both of these schools, 19-0. We'll have the fourth quarter after this timeout.
For generations, people have come together to plant trees. Trees that clean the air, give wildlife a home, and protect the land. For 125 years, people have planted trees to be outdoors, to be with friends, to have a little fun. Just look at the results. Those trees now shade our streets and shelter our communities. This year is the 125th anniversary of Arbor Day, the Tree Planters Holiday. Support Tree City USA and help your community's trees. Trees conserve energy and create pleasant places for baseball, picnics, and quiet walks. Trees are cool. Trees quiet loud traffic noise, increase property values, and make shopping areas exciting and fun. Now it's your turn. Plant trees and support Tree City USA in your town. Write the National Arbor Day Foundation and let trees make a world of difference for you.
Here we go, fourth quarter underway. Palmer gives Perry. Perry looking to get it close to the 5 on 2nd and 3 at the 6. And he doesn't get much. So it's going to bring up 3rd down. And the 15th play of this drive by Powers, which started from their 25-yard line. Longest drive amassed by either school. Perry, no gain on that carry. 3rd and 3 at the 6.
Here you see a future Hornet cheerleader getting into the act a little bit.
Oh my, Palmer, the minute he stepped back, that Kearsley defender was right in his face. Football squirts loose, Powers Catholic recovers.
And I mean, that looks like having a copy of the playbook for the Chargers. I mean, let's see how far he got off the ball before he got hit. And probably not a half a step.
It was the nose man or one of the defensive tackles who just got in there in a hurry, causing problems for the Powers offense. Palmer, the minute he got the snap, he was hit. So your Powers, you're down 19-0. It's 4th and 6 at the 9, and you got to go for it. If you want any chance of winning this football game, you have got to go for it. I mean, touchdown-wise, no kicking field goals here. Chargers need to get to the 3-yard line. Palmer airing it out towards the end zone, throws up a wounded duck, and it's caught. Touchdown, Powers. Boy, that football had wings. It was up in the air forever, but it lands in the receiver's hands, and I believe it was 38, Brandon Schreiner, 6 foot, 170-pound junior. 9-yard touchdown reception, and Powers Catholic has their first touchdown in 97.
We'll take another look at that touchdown pass, and Schreiner did an excellent job of blocking out. It looked just like a block out on in basketball. There you see Palmer back, and he just lobs that thing, and you see Schreiner perfect position, jumps up, goes up high, and comes down with the football.
So now Powers is going to call timeout. They're trailing 19-6. And I wouldn't be surprised if Powers Catholic decides to go for 2 here.
They go for 2 here and hopefully get the football back and score and go for another 2, and that'll leave them just a field goal from tying this thing up.
Impressive drive and impressive determination by Powers Catholic, putting together a 16-play, 75-yard rather, scoring drive and getting their first touchdown of this ball game, because Kearsley, through 3 quarters of play, has really dominated Powers. Powers, at the end of this 3rd quarter and as we get into this 4th quarter, put together a pretty nice offensive series, and they're on the scoreboard. Give your credit to them.
You have to. These kids could have just as easily quit in this ball game, and Bill Tucker, being a fine coach and an excellent motivator that he is, you know, brought these kids together and said, hey, we can still go and do some things in this football game. And then they put a drive together and got the ball into the end zone.
Well, now the Chargers line up for the 2-point conversion with 3 white shirts in the backfield. Palmer pitching out, and the football is loose. Kearsley recovers, and the 2-point try fails. So with 10:09 to go in the ball game, 2-point conversion effort from Powers Catholic is no good, but they have their first touchdown of 97 and of this ball game, as it's now a 19-6 Kearsley advantage. Palmer through the air in this second half. He was 0 for 1 in the first half. He's 5 of 7 now, 54 yards and a touchdown. And the senior captain leading the way through the air for Powers Catholic. Powers Catholic doing an onside kick it here. We'll see. Still a lot of time remaining in this contest, but Kearsley, if they get their hands on the football, they can burn a ton of clock with their strength in the ground game.
I think they'll kick it away here, and hopefully if they get it back, they can shorten the field.
They do. Ryan Dunning will take it from about his own 15-yard line. Still on his feet. Runs out of room on the near sideline, and he's finally wrapped up out of bounds as he takes it over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. It's a pretty good looking return from Dunning. Never quit on the return and got some good yardage out of it.
And I tell you, that's how you eventually break one. He didn't quit on the return and looked like there wasn't anything there, and then you kind of dipped and cut it outside a little bit, and there was nothing there, and you kind of dipped and took it out a little wider, and that's how you eventually take one back.
Well, that Powers offense was on the field for 9 minutes that scoring drive took. So this Kearsley offense, on the other hand, has had plenty of rest, and they should be good to go. And plenty of rest for that guy, Pat Ruff. Another first down for the Hornets. Dominated on the last Hornet offensive series, as he ran the ball 6 consecutive times, eventually leading to a 14-yard touchdown run. He had 6 runs of 64 yards in that last Kearsley offensive series. It was all Pat Ruff, and it's all Pat Ruff again as he breaks one off for 11 and a first down.
Well, I tell you, if the line keeps blocking like they are and Ruff keeps running the ball like he is, he'll be over the 100-yard mark tonight easily.
He is over the 100-yard mark, Thrill.
See, I told you.
Makes up for your wrong earlier. Here's Ruff again, breaking away from the pass.
See ya.
Down the sideline, he is going to be lassoed down. Play in the end zone. No, they say he was down. The official signals down at about the 1 foot mark. Ruff breaks off a 51 3/4 yard run. Well, let's take a look at it again. He just broke away from everybody. And hold the phone, Kearsley Bell, as you'll ring it up if you give it to Ruff, probably next play for a TD. Here it is now.
There you see the handoff, good blocking at the line, and Ruff just blows right through the hole. He hit that hole pretty fast. And ran down right at the goal line. And I tell you, Ruff got ready to come out of the game for a breather, and the guys waved him back on. It's like, hey, you ran at this part. I guess you might as well take it in.
Saw free safety Markham as Kearsley scores as Jordan, the quarterback, keeps it himself, follows his guard in center, and has a touchdown for the Hornets. So as soon as Powers gets their first TD of the ball game, the Hornets come right back. Pat Ruff does it again. A 3-play, 62-yard scoring drive for the Hornets, just like that. That took no time at all. And they now have a 25-6 lead.
And that did not take long at all. It's like the little confidence or the little momentum that the Chargers had built up on that last drive, Kearsley just took it away like that.
Gallagher point after try. Mitch Gilbert holding. And he missed it. So with 9:20 to go in the ball game, Kearsley has a 19-point lead again, and they lead it 25-6. Pat Ruff's numbers now: 17 carries, 154 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad night.
Oh, not at all. I'll take that any day.
About, if my math serves me correctly, close to 8 yards a carry.
I'll tell you, Ruff is definitely on his way to being all Big 9 again.
And this isn't against shabby competition by no means. Powers Catholic, traditionally one of the stronger teams in the Big 9 year in and year out. And what a way to begin the season for Kearsley. It's 25-6 Hornets, and they'll kick it away. Taken by Matt Brown. Matt Brown is taken down close to the 35-yard line where Powers Catholic will operate. Robert Morris making the tackle on special teams for Kearsley. 5'10", 185-pound junior. So here's the Chargers down 25-6. See if they can get back-to-back touchdowns here. Meiser on that first down carry. Gingerly operating on that right side of the Powers offensive line. Tiptoed up there and taken down for no gain. Second and 10 now for Powers Catholic. Got a new quarterback in there for the Chargers. Adam Nicholson, 5'8", 160-pound junior. Number 11, fakes handoffs, throws, and completes. Big hit put on by Ryan Dunning, the DB, as Riker, the receiver for Powers Catholic, the tight end, paid for it, but he made a nice catch. And he picked up 9 yards, did Riker. And it'll be third and call at 1.
That's one of those catches where you're going to get nailed whether you catch the ball or not, so you might as well concentrate on the football and make the catch. And if you're going to take a shot like that, make it worth your while.
7:50 and counting to go in the ball game. Kearsley in control up 19 at 25-6. We have a new quarterback in there, Nicholson. Completes his first pass, hands off Perry. Takes it upfield. They'll have a first down, and we'll move to sticks for Powers Catholic. We'll take it up to the 47-yard line. As he picks up 3 yards. Perry's been tough in those short yardage situations. It'll be 1st and 10 for Powers Catholic from their 44. Motion man was Landell. Nicholson keeps it himself, avoided pressure in his own backfield, got away from it, turned upfield for a pretty nice gain, taking it into Kearsley territory. Showing some good speed to the junior quarterback.
And not only that, coming off the bench to move the club. This has to pay dividends down the road.
Nicholson got 6 on that first down play. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Powers Catholic at the Kearsley 47. Nicholson will toss it out. And that runner had the option of throwing, but he doesn't have any option at all because he is taken down for a big-time loss. That was a backwards pass, and it almost appeared that he may have been setting up for a throw, did the Charger receiver in Landell. The minute he looked upfield, there were 2 blue shirts in his face. Powers is hit for a big loss.
Instead of throwing the ball, he was throwing instead. The Hornets defense did an excellent job of pursuit that time. Was not fooled at all.
Powers loses 8, and it's 3rd and 14. That's Meisner on the carry. Meisner taken out at the 45 as he picks up a couple on that 3rd down and long play, and it's 4th down. And about 12 to go for Powers Catholic. Hey, we show the Kearsley cheerleaders we got to give Powers their airtime, and they get it. Well, trying to keep the spirits up, but besides that nice touchdown drive late 3rd quarter, that's about all they've had to cheer about. As the Chargers will punt it away, and Dosh will call for the fair catch from his 27, where the Hornets will have it. So about a 28-yard punt and no return as Dosh fair catches. Actually give it a 29-yard punt, no return. So the Hornets will have it with 4:56 remaining, up 25-6.
I'll tell you, with Jordan in that quarterback and Dosh out there on the punt return team, obviously Rich Dosh is just getting a rest.
Jordan keeps it himself, taking it over the 30 to about the 31 for close to 5. Look for Kearsley to be content with just running the football and burning Glock, because they look well on their way to a W in week 1. This is just week 1 of a week, hopefully many, as we've got a pretty nice schedule put together for you. Thanks to Tom Skinner. We'll be out next Friday night over at Atwood Stadium as Saginaw Valley Conference follows Flint Central and Bay City Western will get it out. Air date for that will be Monday, September 15th at 8:30, and Tuesday, September 16th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then 2 weeks from Friday, Bentley and Mendel in the Burton Bowl. They'll get it on Friday, September the 19th. Air date for that will be September 22nd. That'll be 8:30 on Monday and Tuesday, September the 23rd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'll tell you, that's something we hadn't seen in a while. It's a penalty flag.
We had a number of procedure calls going against both squads through 3 quarters, and first one we've seen in quite some time being thrown in this 4th quarter. And another procedure call whistled against the Hornets. I know in my playing days, for the amount of penalty yardage we were whistled for, or amount of penalties blown at us, we would run sprints. And I think maybe next practice, both Kearsley and Powers may be running many a wind sprints. Be safe to say for the amount of penalties that have gone their way. More flags come up as.
I'm going to tell you, those wind sprints will be in addition to practice, not instead of practice.
It's Keith Pierce, the ball carrier. This one's going to come back again, move it further back into Kearsley territory.
Looking at the upcoming games for these two teams, Kearsley goes to Grand Blanc, and Grand Blanc with running back Reggie Benton, who's an excellent back.
Just a sophomore, and he put up senior type numbers a year ago, didn't he?
Oh yeah, over 1,000 yards, and that kid can carry the rock. And Powers is at home, and they will host Flushing Raiders,
who has really turned things around the last couple of years. A strong program over there in Flushing. Pierce again, the ball carrier. On a second and a bunch. As Gerard makes the tackle for Powers Catholic. It was 2nd and 14. Now it's 3rd and 11 after the 3-yard pickup from Pierce for Kearsley from their 24. Well, stay with us, folks. We'll wrap up the final numbers and give thanks to everyone involved, and we'll bring this broadcast to a close. As this is a fine opportunity for some of these young reserve for both Kearsley and Powers to get their chance to work out the kinks here in week number 1.
Yeah, those guys practice all week, as does the starters, and they contribute to the team as well. And it's nice to see those guys get opportunity to get out on the field.
So the Hornets will punt it away on 4th and 10. Low snap. And a pretty good boot from Temple. As the return man of Powers Catholic backs off and lets Kearsley down it. And the Chargers will take over with 2:10 to go. Well, before we go, we would like to thank the host, Athletic Director Mickey Hamilton of Kearsley, and his Athletic Secretary, Juanita Vanderfeld, for providing the rosters and other nooks and crannies that go along with bringing the Comcast crew out here. Also like to thank public address announcer Norm Shook for making us feel at home up here in the press box with all the goodies, and me trying to watch my waistline. That is not good, having that little snack table behind, but I've been okay.
That you have.
When we also like to thank the visiting athletic director and Kathy McGee over at Powers Catholic, along with her athletic office staff, and especially Carol Williams, who comes through time in and time out. We thank them for helping us pull together the rosters and putting up with all of Tom Skinner's phone calls. And we'd also like to thank both head coaches, Jack Pratt and his assistants, especially son John Pratt, for putting together the starting lineups, and Bill Tucker, his staff, for their time and helping us prepare for week 1, Powers Catholic in Kearsley, as we have a timeout on the field.
You know, along those same lines, Pat had an opportunity to talk to Mark Ragnon, an opportunity to meet his lovely wife, and they wanted to say hello to Todd Perry on the Powers sideline, who is a cousin of Mark's, and Pat Ruff on the Kearsley side, who is also a close friend and then part of a church organization in which they have. So hello to those guys.
So here come the Chargers, and you better believe probably a whole lot of new numbers and names out there as well for Kearsley. As they will give it to Markham this time, one of the senior tri-captains. a 6-yard effort there from the runner. So it'll be a 2nd and 4.
That's a pickup of about 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Nicholson in trouble. He's going to be brought down for the sack. Mitch Gilbert, 6'3", 190-pound senior, got in the Powers backfield in a hurry, and Nicholson looking to air it out, could not, as he is taken down for a loss.
I tell you, Mitch Gilbert took a second to introduce himself on that play. There's a lot of new guys on the field, but just in case you didn't know me, let me introduce myself.
Under a minute to go now, and it's 25-6 Kearsley. Led 12-0 after a half. And at 13 more points to make it 25 for them, and Powers scored the lone touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. And that is our score, 25-6, and that's going to remain as Powers may get one more. On the football field. We got a loose football as Powers will recover, and got a long season ahead of us. A long season ahead for both of these ball clubs. Not sure which way it's going to go for Powers Catholic and Kearsley, but and for the rest of these schools in this area. But we got a lot to look forward to year in and year out. Always competitive.
You know, you look at the Chargers, they didn't have such a good game tonight, and on the other hand, the Hornets looked like they did just about everything right, but keep in mind that both of these teams play in the Big 9, and on any given Friday night, one of these teams can end up a loser, and one of these teams can end up a winner. I guess before you have to make a final prediction, you have to play the games and see how this one plays out.
That'll do it. Kearsley wins the season opener over Powers Catholic in impressive fashion. A dominating running game, not a bad defense. They hold Powers to 6 points, and they win it 20.